10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio. Watch out!
Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by the technician Chris Aceto on this August 5th, 2019 evening. And Chris, the Tampa Pro is in the books now. You were out there. I didn't know that. You didn't give us the heads up you were going to be out there, but obviously I knew you were out there once you were there. And Dexter Jackson, I believe this is win number 30. I don't know, or it's pretty damn close to it.
No, it turns out to be 29.
Oh, 29? So he's got to win the Olympia now to make it 30.
Yeah, that's right. So, the minute I heard that, then I know what's in Dexter's mind. He said, I'll just win the Olympia, and that'll be 30. By the way, it's Jay's birthday.
How old is he?
Happy birthday, Jay. 46.
Wow.
And it's Luke Sandow's birthday, the day of the show.
Oh, that would have been a nice victory win.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah,
it would have won. It was a very close fought battle. I saw the pictures, and I know you were right there. And it's hard to beat a legend, especially when he looks good. And I think that really hurt. Because a lot of people have been posting pictures online of Luke's midsection versus Dexter's. Dexter's has had that turtle shellish looking midsection for his whole career. That's just the genetics of his body. I mean.
Yeah,
Luke has a small waist. I mean, he's got a nice little vacuum pose going. That's just never been Dexter's, thing.
No, it's never been. And to defend Dexter, people would come up to me and say, "Did you see his gut?" And I'd be like, "No, I sat 9 rows back. I didn't." And people would be pissed that I wouldn't acknowledge it. I said, "I didn't." And people would say, "Look at my iPhone," and they'd take a picture of him from the side breathing. I said, "Dude, it was not an issue at all. That's not." That's not, that's not the reason why it was not a factor whatsoever. It didn't,
People look at things in this microcosm of
what they want to see.
Isolationism, right? They look at one iota of a person's physique. They don't look at the whole physique, and that's why these morons are not judges, because they just don't know. You don't judge a physique by a snapshot someone took and put on the internet, because it's a fraction, a microsecond of what you would see if you were sitting in your seat. You would see that for a flash, and that would be it.
Yeah, believe me, I was trying to look at negatives, and that.
Of course, because you helped Luke. You want to see Luke win, so you're trying to figure out how you can say
justify
that Dexter
it.
Didn't deserve it, but. You went through all the poses with me, and you texted them to me, who wins what. Yeah. And it was, close. And then, of course, it comes down to wow factor and the legend of Dexter Jackson. And if it's close, of course they're going to go with Dexter. I mean, it's like he's Mr. Olympia, if you think about it. Even though it's not the Olympia they're competing at, you got to beat Mr. Olympia, right? I mean, isn't that the way it works?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
What if Jay was in the lineup? You'd have to really beat Jay pretty good for him to lose a show.
Yeah. Yeah. There were poses that I thought Dexter lost, and there were poses that Dexter obviously won.
It wasn't a blowout for sure.
No,
Luke was very close in my mind.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought so too, and I mean, but Dexter's Dexter, and he's what? After the show, Dexter probably should go, because he looked damn good, and he looked better than last year. And he didn't look that good at the Arnold when he had the arm injury.
It looks like he didn't win with unanimous first place votes. Is that possible?
No, I think that I saw that too. The score sheets. I think there were 6 judges, and they all gave him first.
Oh, okay, all right. There wasn't. Usually it's 5.
My guess.
Well, no. Usually it's 7. What is it? 7 judges at a regular pro show, and they drop the two highs.
Yeah, maybe.
Or the high and the low, or there's 9 judges, they drop the 2 highs, the 2 lows. I don't remember that.
Yeah, so you get the win, and not more important than that, but I put Dexter up now. He's 50. He's not 49. He's 50, and he's starting to move into maybe the greatest bodybuilder ever. He's definitely more impressive, as I said, than Cal Ripken.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a Cal Ripken or type of guy, because
far more impressive, because
or Lou
Cal
Gehrig, because he's got longevity. That's a great record. Someone who could do it for that many years in a row.
Yeah, but Cal Ripken was playing like right field towards the end of his career. You know, he just trying to, you know,
he was still hitting the freaking ball though.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't winning pro shows over guys who were 32 squatting 900 pounds.
No.
You know, I mean, it's and he was 40 when he was done. Dexter's 50.
Yeah, and
There's
think
a
about
huge
it.
difference.
Yeah, and think about this also. You know, bodybuilding is judged on how you look, which is you know, as you get older, you just don't look as good. You know,
it's one of the most unbelievable when you think it through sporting accomplishments to be able to win pro shows against a deep field and running to like the sport's most prestigious event 6 weeks away, and you know he's going to be some type of factor somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be some of the top guys, but he's good.
But he's going to be in the first call out based on the condition. You know,
How was Beck? Remember when Al Beckles was second at the Olympia? How old was he? He must have been in his 50s.
I don't know. Yeah, he was. He might have been.
He
up
won
there.
pro shows at 60, didn't he?
Yeah, supposedly he was 60 or 62. Milos would know better because Milos had seen his passport once on the tour. I'm serious.
Milos said he was that old. He said he was that old.
62 was he said. I tried to get get him on insulin, but he was only on 3 Dianabol.
He was a freak too. Some guys just have longevity genetics, you know, and Dexter's one of those guys, you know. Think about it, because you know what? Not only is his physique, you know, respond, and it looks fresh, and it looks, you know, his skin is great, but, you know, you have to he's been taking anabolics all those years too. And while he probably doesn't take a ton of stuff, he takes enough stuff, and he obviously, his body tolerates it well. You know, he cleans out, and he has the ability to recover from the stuff. And that's another genetic gift you have to have, because a lot of people's body just couldn't handle being on gear that long.
Yeah. I mean, they would have people training that long would just have some type of injury by now that would have put them out. And whether it be from training hard or just, you know, due to age, wear and tear, or, you know, I was getting ready to do dumbbell curls and I picked up the 20s to warm up and I tore a bicep.
Right. And Dexter Dexter's not a light trainer. He's not lifting crazy heavy weights, but he certainly doesn't lift light. I've seen him train before.
Well, he's got all the angles down with Charles.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But I'm saying he pushes, like if you saw the weight he lifted, you'd be like, oh, that's good weight. You know, it's not like he's not benching 405, but he's certainly moving good weight in the gym, and that's why he's maintaining his muscle.
Yeah.
Not many guys, aside from maybe Vince Taylor, you know, can lift light and still be big, you know.
Yeah.
You still have to challenge the muscle a little bit.
Yeah, well, he's challenging something because he's, you know, challenging guys 25 years younger than him.
Unbelievable. 29 wins. We thought that Levroni's, what did he have, 20 wins or something like that?
Yeah, destroyed that record. It's destroyed.
And then Ronnie had, 22 wins or something like that?
Yeah.
And then Dexter beat that record 10 years ago.
Well, there you go. Look at you know you want to talk about injuries? Look at Ronnie's injuries versus again Dexter, and he's competing.
You remember when we saw the Masters Olympia when Dexter won it that year? That crazy woman Jarka held it. He that was when he passed. Was that when he got win 20 or 21 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
It took him like another, almost 10 years to get or was ever 6 years, 7 years to get another, 9 wins. But who would have thought he would have kept going? We thought probably he would have stopped.
Yeah.
I thought he just wanted the record. I don't think anyone will ever break that record.
No.
I know we always say that about records, but it would take a very special person to be able
to get 29 pro wins. People can't even get one, dude. They have to get to the Olympia on points.
Well, the problem, you know what the problem, Chris, is no one wants to do any shows anymore. So I don't think, even if you had a guy who was around for 20 years competing, they probably would only do 2 shows a year. So they probably still wouldn't, have the record.
Yeah. Let's see someone gets 2 wins a year. Take them 15 years to catch up with Dexter.
Yeah, 15 years.
And by the time they get the 2 wins on year number 4, they're, at this day and age, to get those wins, they're shot by year 4.
Exactly.
You think Dexter?
Not to mention that most of the guys are dropping
down.
dead. Dexter's still alive too. Look at all the guys that died, along the way. He's
Unbelievable.
survived
Like
everyone.
I said, he's one up to Cal Ripken. I'm not, Cal Ripken retired at 40 or 41. Dexter 10 years later, after Cal's retired or whatever, 10 years older than him, still going strong.
So Dexter wins here. Luke Sandow, better or the same or worse than the Arnold Classic third place finish?
I think he was a little. No, he was better here. He was had a little bit better V taper. His condition was really good. He's got a little bit more maturity to his physique, and he's just better here. I mean, he's not
doing a lot of
markedly
shows.
better.
I mean, is his body beat up from all this competing?
No. Right now it's not. It was after the Arnold, because the Arnold, he just laid it. It was like the first, he went all out for the Arnold, and then he was just beat when he traveled to Australia because he wasn't supposed to go to Australia, meaning he wasn't invited. And then he, just since he did well, they invited him. He flew out to Australia. That show kind of burnt him, and then by the time he got to Indiana, he was just like shot.
Yeah,
but he'll be.
Schedule.
I think he'll. He'll be he could be a factor of some sorts at the Olympia, because I think that he can improve between now and then. His body's still pretty fresh.
Why did he decide to do Tampa and not say
he had to? It was emergency. He thought he was qualified for the Olympia.
He wasn't?
And nope. And he got third at the Arnold. It's not a qualification. He didn't know that. He thought he was in, and then 7 weeks ago, he said, "Do you think I can be ready for Tampa in 7 weeks?" I said, "I don't think so." No, why? And he said, "Because if I can't get, if I don't win," well, he thought, he'd win it. He said, "I got to win a show." He wasn't talking about points, but he says, "I'm not qualified for the Olympia." I said, "You're crazy. You got third at the Arnold." So I don't have enough. I don't even have enough points.
Is it top two or is it?
I think it's just the winner.
Oh. Now, does he have enough points now?
Now he has enough points. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely belongs in that Olympia. I think he's a top 6 guy.
No, that's why I said I think he can be a factor.
With all the guys that are out of the Olympia this year.
Yeah, yes.
He's definitely a top 6 guy, without a doubt.
And that they always I don't think that's the right word, but, it's a different lineup. So, big guys traditionally, do well there. And for a big guy, he's got good condition. So, he's going to get a strong look, that's for sure. They'll give him a fair look.
Right. What about Ian Valliere? Third place.
He looked good. He was hard.
I feel like he looks better 2 weeks out from these shows when I see the pictures on Instagram.
The point is, he was hard but flat.
That's my impression.
I thought originally because I thought because he was next to Luke, who's fuller, but I watched really hard the night show, and I just summed it up that he was too flat.
But that's what I noticed the last time I saw him too. It feels like
he's flatter here than the last show for sure.
It looks at a week out, he looks like he's going to win. He's like Dorian Yates, and then he did like something happens to his physique, and it just doesn't look good on stage.
Yeah. He was.
Doesn't he have that structure? You're like, holy shit, this guy's going to fucking demolish everyone, and then like nothing's popping all of a sudden.
Yeah, nothing was popping here.
I mean, is he really? Think about his physique. Look at his physique and say to yourself, where does he have flaws?
Well, he looked.
Aside from conditioning, right, or whatever flatness, I'm saying there's no gaps in his physique. He's like a Dennis Wolf.
The reason that he was flat here is because he looked tall, and usually the height helps him. Meaning you say, "Wow, he's a big guy,"
right?
And what that really means is he's a big guy, tall, but you don't say he's big. And I wouldn't say by any means, stretching the imagination, he looked lanky. But in some parts of especially the finals, I thought, gosh, he looks a little on the thin side here.
Yeah, and I really like his physique. I think he's just got a lot of gnarly muscle, and he just something is not. I think he's screwing up that last week or two.
Well, he's got this is not the first. It goes back to a big guy. You do more than one show. It's Dexter can do 5 more shows between here and the Olympia, and he'll look the same. And a big guy doing 5 more shows. Let's say if Luke did 3 more, he'd crash and burn by September, and so would Luke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter what they do, they're just hard to keep them, full of big for multiple shows. And he's done, a couple shows in the last few weeks. So I think this is like show number 3 for Ann.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So he's like losing it, he's losing that roundness that he needs.
He's hard, but he's like you said, flat. Like something is just not popping on him, And I think once he figures out that whatever's going on there, he's dangerous. The guy's shredded, and he's got, like I said, no gaps in his physique.
Dave.
He really is impressive. I'm impressed with him.
Ian? Yeah. I think I dropped the call for a second there,
No.
but I'm still here.
Yeah, I got you.
We got to tell the listeners it's 2 a.m, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Let's talk about Lucas Aceto. This guy is just fucking always there. You can't get rid of this guy, right? I mean, you look at him standing there in the lineup, he's nothing impressive, and then he hits shots, and this crazy retarded conditioning comes out. It's just wacky to me.
Yeah, he's I've seen him harder and I've seen him denser. He looked a little washed out too, but otherwise being not at his best. I don't think this was his best.
No, he was a little flat, I think.
Yeah, he was flat too, without a doubt. You nailed it. It's funny you're affirming. We didn't talk about it before we started the radio show, but
I studied all the video before we did this because I did a prejudging wrap up that didn't work out and I never put it up. So I'm going to do our final wrap up, but he's just freaky hard. It just goes to show you that, and I've said this a gazillion times, conditioning wins shows. It really, and not necessarily wins, but it places you in positions where the judges want to place you well. And if that doesn't send a message to people, hey, idiots, it's not about coming in bigger, it's coming in condition. If you don't have the muscle, you don't have the muscle. But now the guy who really impressed me in this lineup, and I didn't even know you worked with him, was Hassan Mustafa. This guy's got ridiculous looking legs. What's the deal with him? How did you meet up with him and start working with him?
He's the Arab DeMeo.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what he even looks like him. He
looks just like Paul. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I actually worked with him a few years ago for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Very short. And Jay had hooked me up with him.
Okay.
Because he was doing some repping for Jay's line for a short period of time. And then his sponsor contacted me I think 6 weeks out from the show or 7 weeks. And he was going to do a show and I said, he's going to get murdered. He's fat. Mm-hmm. Whatever show was 7 weeks ago, he was just getting ready to get, and what would have that been? Roughly 7, not New York.
I remember he did a show. Didn't he do a show 7 weeks ago?
Yeah, he did Indy, and then he was getting ready for another show.
Okay.
And the sponsor said, "Can you help him?" And I said yes, and send me pictures. And I said to Joe, it's from AD Nutrition. I said he's going to get demolished. He said that's what I thought. And I said, I guess so. They said, what about Tampa? And I said, yeah, I can help him for the show, but he arguably could have been third in that show easily.
Yeah, and he still can be better than he is, but he's got some freaky legs. Holy mackerel!
Freaky
we don't see legs
freaky
like
pecs, side tricep like DeMeo.
Yeah.
He's got a very good back. He's got all the tools.
Yeah. No, he's gonna be a definite future for us. We've reported on him with Muscle in the Morning a lot of times because he's always doing something, and I think that he's pretty popular. What's the deal with Milan Shadik? Not enough muscle yet, still for that open?
Yeah, he's not the same Milan that showed up in New York. New York Pro, he was diamond, and dense and full for that frame. I mean, you could have made the argument. I did when we did the wrap up. I made the argument that you could, have had him winning New York.
He looks pretty good for me here. He's pretty freaking crazy lean.
It might be the lighting. Because everyone looked a little flat. Mm-hmm. Even Luke to me looked flat compared to the quote hotel room or the whole. So it might be the lighting, but he too looked on the flat side, especially
his tan could have been darker, maybe.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, his tan was terrible.
I mean, he's the pictures. He's really hard.
Yeah, no, he was hard, but he had some flatness through the pecs, which compared to like New York on the most muscular. Mm-hmm. And there was a little bit of flatness on the back double compared to New York. I'm comparing him to the best of the year that he was.
It's amazing what happens when you don't have enough color on, though, too. I mean,
listen,
it ruins you.
It's, you know what, I told Luke, and, I mean, Dexter's phenomenal, but when you are in shape and you are a black guy like Dexter, or you're in shape and you're a black guy like Roden or Bonac, and you put on Protan, and you're the same level of hardness as someone in reality, you're going to look better than someone else. Does it make sense?
No, yeah, the muscles show off better.
Yeah, I mean, I go through like hotel rooms looking for like, I can't see what you look like in this light, that light, this light. I don't know if you're in shape and say, you look killer under this light.
Well, that's why I was driving Guy Sistinino crazy when he came in with no tan then that last show. Remember? Not this, this show. Because I was like, well, you have the best tan all the time. What's going on here?
Yeah, he had a snafu.
Yeah, he said he passed out or something like that, missed the tanning.
Yeah, he did. Did he tell you that story? He passed out.
I don't know. It was
true before Chicago. He got sick and.
I said, Guy, you have so many problems before these shows.
That's what Jay said. He always has some like last minute drama.
When I helped him, when I helped him when he got his pro card, did he ever tell you the story? He won the middleweight class at nationals, and then he was back in the hotel room, and he was like, he almost died. Like he was like throwing up and I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I can't eat. I said, you gotta fucking eat. I said, well, what's going on? He's like, I don't feel good. I'm like, I said, snap out of it, man. And I said, you got to drink at least something. I said, I was afraid he was going to have to go to the hospital and put it on an IV bag. This is when he was really young, I think he's so intense that his body just like completely rebels, against the torture that he's putting himself through. We'll get to him in a minute. So let's talk about the 212 as long as we brought up the guy's name. How impressed with you with John Jewett? Was that the right decision? We know you helped Frank Zane. We know you helped Zane Watson, who finished second.
I probably, me on that show, I probably would have given the nod to Zane. There's my own, personal opinion. Mm-hmm. When it came between, let's say, Zane and Jewett, because I just had Zane winning more poses, and then if you just referenced condition, I mean there were some poses that Zane just looked like remarkably freaky hard in. Most muscular, like when he does the intercostal abs and thighs. Yeah. Side chest is really gnarly. He has issues with back thickness.
He looks tall. He looks tall for that class. Zane.
Yeah, he looks tall for the class, but in real life, because of the condition, you know what I mean. It's he gets away with it. But I'll say this is, he weighed in at 212, and I got here on Wednesday. On Wednesday, he's 219. At 219, he's just shocking looking. Mm-hmm. So 218, he looks still good. 217, he's moving into flat land. 216, 214. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between 219 and 212 when you're already like maxed out on condition at 219. He doesn't hold it.
Yeah, I think he's having a problem with making the weight because he looks. I see his pictures on Instagram like a week or two out, and the guy's like unbelievable.
Wednesday, that's what I just said. Wednesday,
and
219.
Then all of a sudden, like you said, he gets to the show and he looks good, but he loses the wow,
Yeah.
Once you get depleted out like that, even in 2 days, it's hard to put that weight back,
Yeah, of course. It's yeah.
Because you don't know where you're putting it back. That's the problem. There's no way to direct everything. You can't direct the water into the right place.
Yeah. He has a little system that he lies down on the ground. Yeah.
You can't do it. So Jewett is just shorter, stockier, has that thick muscle. He probably doesn't even have to make weight. He probably is at weight, without doing anything because he's just a shorter guy. And I think he's able to come in at his best. Although his tan looks really muddy to me. Were people complaining about that?
Yeah, he had like a gray tan.
It just doesn't look good. It looks like it was like bleeding. His face looks like dirty. You know how people get that tan when it like runs.
Yeah. No, he had a gray looking hue to him.
Yeah. Hey, good. Congratulations to him. He's going to the Olympia. I mean, he came out of nowhere. You talk about dark horses in every show, and he's definitely the dark horse of this show, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So let's talk about Guy Cisternino. What happened to Guy? He looked pretty good to me in the pictures, but he still didn't look like the guy that we've seen, slay, dragon, so to speak. Was anything going on with him health-wise? Any excuses do we have?
I mean, what you think he looked like? He had asked me. I thought he was pretty. I thought
from behind he looked amazing. I thought he looked great from behind, and from the front he looked,
the side.
Yeah, and from the front he looked weird to me. I don't know. That's the best way to describe it.
Well, he gives up the front double, and which is an important pose.
He looked tired to me too, like he didn't sleep or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's the second time Pete you've mentioned it. Cause people mentioned it from Chicago, but I mean, he didn't. He was pretty aggressive on stage.
No, I didn't mean the way he was moving. I said he just looks tired, just in the pictures. His face. I know Guy. How he looks normally. He just looks like he was kind of out of it a little bit.
Yeah,
but I don't. He usually has really, really good legs from the front. They looked a little straight up and down to me. I don't know. Maybe that's something wasn't popping on the front.
Yeah, someone else had said they thought his legs could have. One of the judges told him his legs could have been more detailed.
Usually they're ridiculously detailed. But from behind they were really crazy. That's a weird thing. He had like this disproportionate level of conditioning. From behind, his glutes and hamstrings were really crazy. Although his upper back could have been a little maybe harder. I don't know. There was just something that wasn't usually there the way we're normally used to seeing Guy. Look, how old is Guy now? He's not young. He's getting older, right?
Yeah, I think he's 36 or 37.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people. 35. When you hit 35, that's when everything starts going downhill.
Unless you're Dexter.
Unless you're Dexter, right? Oh my God! Look, Guy looked great. Third place in this lineup was really good though, because you know what? It was a tough show. It was not a bunch of slouches here.
Yeah, both shows. I mean, the 212 had a ton of people. The Open had a ton of people. There was a lot of depth in both. I mean, top 10 in both classes were.
What? Let me ask you a question. What happened to Charles Dixon? He was like 14th.
Charles Dixon was an anomaly because he was not at his best, but he was very good. And the idea that he didn't make I thought he would be in the first call on the side and move his way in. That's where I saw him. Mm-hmm. So first call out of 7 on the edge, because there were other people in really sharp condition, but, because of the size and because of the roundness, and I thought if I was judging, that he would just move in, they'd switch him a little bit and give him a chance to, but I think he was in close to the third or fourth call out.
Yeah, didn't look good for him. Let's talk about classic physique. Abner Logan. You want to talk about dark horses? Who the hell? I don't even know who he is. I'll have to get him on my TV show or something like that. he kind of came out of nowhere. Was that the right decision there?
Yeah, it was the right decision. He's a big guy, tall.
Looks like a basketball player almost.
Yeah, he's very tall, and you discount him at the beginning as, okay, he's going to be too tall. As odd as that sounds, like he's going to look lanky and weird. But he's got round shoulders, big arms, really good condition, and when they compared him, I don't think it was on the radar at the beginning to win, but when they compared him, he didn't have that many weaknesses, and his condition was really good, and he had enough muscle in all the shots to not look lanky with all that height. So it's almost like the height worked for him because he didn't look lanky.
Yeah.
It's funny, and I talked about Ian Valier almost looking lanky at some point.
Who's going to watch this? Who's going to look at Abner Logan winning this and say that they should be, they're going down the classic? Who do you know? What big personality in our bodybuilding world?
Oh, what's his face? The Muhammad Ali guy. the guy who should be WWF.
Come on, Chris, you don't know my name?
Oh, see, yeah, he's insulted the North American winner. The guy who beat Jewett and I mean, what's the guy's name?
Big
dude?
Sean Allen.
Sean Allen.
Yeah.
Big Sean
Yeah.
Allen.
He's going to be like, man, I can beat him. Take him
Yeah.
out right now. Lights
Yeah,
out.
he could.
Lights out, baby. I can tell Sean already. I know he's looking at these pictures. He's like, man, I could take this guy out. This guy's a chump.
Yep.
No, he's very complimentary. He's probably like, he looks
Yeah,
good,
but
but I got better legs than him.
It was a close race between Abner and who ended up second.
Ricky Moten. Ricky Moten sends me pictures all the time, and just to
Yeah.
show me what it looks like. And he asked me if he should do the show. I said, absolutely, you should do the show, because I guess
Yeah.
it's expensive to do these shows. I said, Ricky, man, I don't know who could beat you at this show.
Well, I had him winning coming out, and then once they positioned him, it looked like they lined him up in the second place position.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think anyone
That's
would have
one-
complained if he would have won, right?
No, it was close. It was very close. I don't think anyone would have complained. I had, like I said, when it started out, I thought he was going to win, and it looked like they were lining him up to fall into the second slot. And I thought, well, maybe it was just because Abner's like a bigger, taller guy, and that height worked for him. And I don't know. I
It
mean,
looked like Abner was a little harder than him. That's the only thing I could say.
I would say slightly.
Yeah. And not to confuse Abner Logan with Logan Franklin. I just did it. I just confused it. Not to confuse them, but Logan Franklin, who moved up from men's physique, Chris, is proving to be a force in classic physique now.
Yeah, he looked good. He's
got legs.
Yep. And people have always, I think, not always, but I think that's been put in his ear, right? You should give classic a shot. You're kind of big for this class. And
now, was it true that I heard that Tyler Mannion made an announcement? Tyler, who's Jim's grandson, who's like he's the vice president now and been judging and head judging. Did he make an announcement that they're going to be marking down the men's physique guys if they're too big?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Last week. Did we not speak last week, or did I not hear that they were going to add 5 pounds to the class?
No, not classic. I'm talking about men's physique.
Oh, men's physique.
I think they're telling the
know if
men's
he made
physique
that
guys that
decision.
they're too big. That's what I heard, and that if they want to be
That's
that
funny.
big, they should go to classic.
Oh, I don't know, but that seems like a logical, declaration.
Yeah. I think Logan Franklin looks really good here.
Yeah, he does. Good condition, good shape, good flow.
Can you make a case for him winning this class? No.
No, he looked. His back was
Not big enough.
flat compared to Ricky Moten and Abner.
It's a weird category because
Yes, it is.
try to compare it in your mind to bodybuilding, but the guys are just not that big because they're limited by their height and their weight.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of judge what's there, and you want to say, oh, this guy needs like 5-10 pounds of muscle, but they can't put 5-10 or 10 pounds of muscle on a lot of times because they can't make weight otherwise.
That's
so
right.
you have to. It's a class of genetics. Genetic freaks are going to do well in this class because they don't need to be bigger to be better. You know what I mean? They have the structure.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So in a sense, if Logan Franklin might be a guy that he might need to go up to open at some point, and do that if he keeps growing. And improving.
I don't know how close he was to making, what his limitation is on how much he can gain.
But I liked it. I liked that people are proving that you can go from men's physique to classic and do well, top 5,
Yep.
and then maybe even go from. When are we going to see the first classic guy to do open? That'll be interesting when we see that. And I'm not talking about a bodybuilder who went down to classic and then went back. I mean a legitimate classic guy turned pro in classic and then he moves up to the open class and does well.
Who's on the horizon who could do that?
Well, I mean, you got guys like Chris Bumstead who could do that, arguably. You got guys like George Peterson who could do that. You have what's his name? Not Breon, the other guy who's got the similar name. Keon Pearson, who can do that.
Yeah.
To move to that 212 class. I think it'll be hard to get these guys into the open class, but I think a lot of these guys can go from classic to 212.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
But So that alone kind of makes it changes the strategic, aspect of the sport. Like, oh, well, maybe this guy should do 212. And now all of a sudden it changes the dynamics of the 212 division because you got a guy in there who you never expected to see in there.
No, you're right.
Now I see they had women's
See
bodybuilding.
if someone does do it.
Yeah. Let's go to the other categories. Let's get through those. Although, you know what? Let's go to women's bodybuilding. Heli Trevino. We know her very well. She wins.
Oh, I didn't even know she was in the show. How'd she look?
She looked phenomenal. She was shredded. She looked like she did 10 years ago when she was competing. She was very, very lean.
Well, she just won the World Championships 2 years ago. What do you mean 10 years ago? She was super peeled. I helped her for that show.
Right. But I'm just saying, you remember when she first came onto the scene, and I think she won the Jantana when she was like 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
She was crazy. Pauline Nelson, second. Pauline's got to be my age. That's pretty amazing that she came in looking so good. I believe she trains with Kai Green, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, she trains,
really?
Yeah, she trains in Brooklyn.
Like training partners or something?
Yeah, on occasion. Janine Lankowski was third. I used to train her. Good competitor. Glad to see her back in the top three there. I noticed that there was the men's physique was won by, and I don't even know, I haven't seen him, Carl Pressendu. Did you, what's your analysis of him?
I didn't even see
him.
You
didn't see the men's physique?
No, it was just too much.
Yeah, it was a lot of classes going on. He's good. Beat Anthony Woods, who finished second. Fitness, Jenny Worth. That's the story. That's the comeback story, right? Of the
even I know that name.
Jenny Worth, who was a heartbeat away from the Olympia at one point. I interviewed her like 20 years ago when she was, and then she made a comeback 2 years ago. I interviewed her then, and she was just trying to learn how to do routines again because she had injuries and stuff like that. And she looks great now. I couldn't believe how good she looks. I didn't see her routine, obviously, but I'm assuming her routine probably was really good. She's got some serious talent, but her physique has really come back a lot. I think she's going to be a contender for the Olympia title, to be honest with you. Wouldn't that be crazy? Imagine you're out of the sport for 10 years. You were like the heir apparent at one point. You were second at the Arnold, or you won the Arnold. You were second at the Olympia, and then you just leave the sport, and then you come back like in your 40s and you win the Olympia. That's like a great story.
Yeah, talk about good genetics.
Yeah, I think it was her destiny. Sometimes it just wasn't the right time, but we'll see. It's not going to be the Olympia is certainly not going to be a cakewalk for her, the way this show might have been. But she looks like she's back, so I'll have to get her on the show and interview her, see what I know she does. She does some really crazy training styles. My wife follows her on Instagram, and she's got these like shoes with springs on them, and she teaches classes. They jump. It's like stuff that if you and I looked at, I would be in the hospital with 25 surgeries with all the stuff she does. And she's doing it at like 40 years old. Amazing.
You've been in the hospital for 25 surgeries for your knee just walking upstairs.
I know.
So of course,
that's what I'm saying. Imagine me jumping around on spring shoes.
Yeah, more like 50.
Now, one of the most proud people I really am. I mean, there's a few people I'm proud of, but Sheila Black, I've been working with her for a number of years, and she won this Tampa Pro Show women's bodybuilding, I think 3 times or something like that. She's been, a heartbeat away from the Olympia title, even though it's not called the Miss Olympia anymore. And, she was kind of like discouraged with the whole women's bodybuilding thing. And I said, Sheila, I've been telling them for 2 years. I said, why don't you do women's physique? You're the smallest bodybuilder anyway up there. You fit perfectly into physique now. I said, we can bring you down 5-6 pounds, and you'll match up with these girls perfectly. And she was resistant until this past year, and she kind of just said, all right, we're doing it. And she did Vancouver, and she was second there. And then she came. She's like, I said, let's just do Tampa. I know she wanted to travel away from her home. She lives in Tampa. So after she came in so close in Vancouver, now she's like, well, I want to go to the Olympia. She realized that she really is a good women's physique competitor. I mean, she's a great poser, got tremendous presentation, and so we brought her in even tighter here, and she won. I mean, how crazy is that? Winning, she's won 2 divisions. Now she's going to go to the Olympia in 2 separate women's divisions. Not many people can say they did that.
She looks great in both divisions.
Yeah. And she's not 28 years old either. I mean, she's been just busting her butt. She's the kind of person I love working with her because when she goes to war, like there's nothing. We might debate certain things about the diet, but if once she knows that she's locked and loaded, and she knows that I'm going to start pushing her, she's like, all right, just give it to me. What do we got to do? And there's nothing that she won't do. If she has to do 3 hours of cardio, she'll do 3 hours of cardio. If she has to eat nothing, she'll eat nothing. She almost enjoys it too much. So I love working with her because she's just and we have a lot of back and forth interaction, about what we think is the right way to go about things. Because certain foods don't agree with her, and certain foods do. And I've noticed this past year that, and I don't know if you've noticed this with your competitors, dehydration's been a very big factor lately. I've been giving my competitors a lot more water, even the day of the show, which I never did in the past. I don't know why guys and girls are dehydrating so much. I don't know if the weather is drier or in the summer, but I just noticed it. I mean, obviously in Vegas that happens a lot at the USA, but even here in Florida, people have been just dehydrating very easily. No, I had her drinking a lot more than I normally do. Did you notice that with any of your competitors? And look at all the guys that we talked about that went flat on stage.
Yeah, well, I thought in humid weather you don't get as dehydrated as dry weather. Is that
but
true?
I don't think it's been that. I think it's been drier, is what I'm saying. That it's not as humid as it normally is. That's just my take on Florida.
Got it.
I know. Yeah, I'm walking around, and I don't know if it's because I think what happens is in Florida, especially, these hotels run the air conditioning so strongly because people don't want to be, and that it sucks the moisture out of your body.
My teeth, Dave, prejudging my teeth, I'm dead serious here, were chattering.
Did they have that cold?
The AC was so cold. I had a t-shirt on.
I think I remember that also the year before. And then I came back with a sweatshirt one year. Because remember when I had my quad, actually when I met Amanda for the first time, when we kind of, first started dating, that's where we met in Tampa. And I luckily I had my sweatshirt with me because whenever I'm injured, I always feel like I feel vulnerable. I got to wear a sweatshirt, And everyone around me was shaking, and I think I actually gave her my sweatshirt. I gave Amanda my sweatshirt. She was freezing too. That's when when you first start dating, you do stuff like that, unselfish stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Then you get used to
thoughtful stuff. You do thoughtful stuff.
Then you just forget it all.
Yeah, then you scream at each other for the next 25 years. No. We got a baby coming up soon. Can you believe it?
Yes, you do.
I mean, you just had a new baby.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, another 3-4 weeks. Assuming she makes it the whole time. End of August. So we're
And you got names picked out or no?
No. I'm not even in the running to even offer a name. I just told her you picked it because she doesn't like anything I like. I like unusual names, and she doesn't want anything. Because she thinks that people will make fun of it, and she's probably right. Because kids are cruel. I'm always like, you know what? So what? Let them get through the childhood, but then when they get to their adulthood, if you have a cool name, everyone will remember it.
Well, people they'll make fun of other kids for
stupidest thing.
Yeah.
So
you got the cooties. That's what. Remember, you got cooties.
Cooties, yeah. Oh my God! I noticed that in the figure division. Autumn Swanson, who had won the Arnold Classic a couple years back in women's physique, and she actually won Tampa in women's physique. She decided to switch back to figure, and you probably didn't watch the figure, but she was 5th, so I guess that was a good decision, I believe. Although I think that she would have been top 5 in women's physique as well, had she done it. It's a weird. She's like a weird in between, I feel bad for the girls that are in between now because you know what? There was no in between when women's physique first started. There was figure, women's bodybuilding, and women's physique in the middle. Now, women's bodybuilding, women's physique is almost the same. So there's a gap between figure and women's physique, although the figure girls have gotten a lot bigger too.
Yes, they have.
Right? So I mean,
no doubt about it.
It's like almost like you can't even do figure anymore. You have to do bikini if you don't want to have muscle. So it's interesting decisions people have been making. I still think she's a women's physique competitor, even though she's a little on the smaller side. I don't think it matters.
I would agree.
Nicole Graham won the figure. Martina Yabakova second. So that was a good class, it looks like, from the pictures. Bikini, Maureen Blanquisco. Don't even know her. Beautiful girl, though. Actually, no, I do know her. I remember her. Good physique. Crazy proportion. You probably like her. That's your look.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep. V-taper.
Yeah. Good genetics. She's got good. I like conditioning on the bikini competitors. Sometimes you get these shows where all the bikini girls are out of shape. I like when the judges go for conditioning.
Well, you're a conditioning freak.
Yeah, but it just looks good. I mean, that's what our sport is, right? It's a physique sport. I mean, why would you want to see people who are carrying body fat on stage?
Well, you hate body fat, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave hates body fat.
I hate body fat. To me, it just shows. It almost looks like you're lazy. Like,
I knew you were going to say that.
Right?
I'm just going to say, you know what? You hate it because it's in your mind. It's reflective of being possibly lazy and not.
Yes. It's like you didn't do your homework. I'm not saying you have to have striated glutes, but you shouldn't have fat on your abs. Your ass shouldn't be hanging. All these girls in the top group all look good. And I really think it reflects the judging panel. Obviously, Steve Weinberger, Tyler Mannion judging here. They like condition. Weinberger, I know, loves conditioning. Romina Basualdo second, Casey Samsel third. So, congratulations to that. What a fucking big show. Not only did they have open, they had masters divisions and all these things. I got to take my hat off to Jake, man, at Wings of Strength. This guy put up a lot of money for this show, right? They got to have tons of prize money they gave out.
Tons of everything. The show just went on and on. And I mean, there's
I'm so happy
prizes.
I wasn't there. Everyone's like, you going?
I know you are.
You're only 2 hours away, Dave.
A lot of people ask me, where's Dave? I said, he's at a snake convention.
No, I was home.
Some people I'd say he's resurfacing his pool. Sometimes I tell people that he's getting ready for the pregnancy delivery.
I went to the bagel store and I got a haircut. My cousin, on another note, my cousin reached out to me this evening. I hadn't talked to her. I was very close to her when I was a kid. My mother's sister, my Aunt Harriet, this was her kids. My Aunt Harriet had married a doctor from Ecuador. He was Ecuadorian, my Uncle Luis. And I really loved them. I loved spending time at their house, and they would come over our house and all the holidays and stuff like that as kids. And I had my cousin Barry, who was the same age as me. So she's 51 too. And we lost touch. I don't know how it happened. I think my sister had an argument or something like that with her sister or something like that. And then we lost touch. And you know me, I'm so aloof and I'm so selfish. I just don't call anyone. And I had reached out to her on Facebook like a couple of years ago. And we kind of reconnected and we talked a little bit. And then she, out of nowhere, it's funny because my father's death was, it's been a year this past weekend. And it feels like it's been 10 years since my dad died. Really, to me, it feels like an eternity, but it's only been a year. And I don't know if she texts me or Facebooks me and says, my husband listens to your podcast, the radio show. So he's probably listening right now. I'm like, he does? She's like, yeah, isn't that weird? I knew he because he works out. I knew he listened to you a little bit, but I didn't realize he listens every week to you. I said, well, that's interesting. So he probably knows more about my life than you do, I said.
Yeah, so we're giving a little shout-out now.
Yes, we're giving a shout-out to my cousin Barry. And so I basically said to her, I said, we got to reconnect. We got to catch up. I got to find out all the gossip on your side and all the gossip on my side of what's going on. And she's got kids that are grown already, So she lives in, I think, Washington, D.C.
And she's shocked you're getting ready to have a new baby.
I'm a late bloomer. Everyone knows that. Can you believe I'm going in number 3 and I'm 51? 50. Well, you're older than I am. So what am I even look?
I know.
I'm talking to.
I keep telling you're going to be on that playground and you're going to be with 17-year-olds with 1-year-olds, and they're going to think you're the grandfather. That's happened to me. People say, "Oh, are these your grandkids?"
That's why I have to stay young with them. That's why, like, my dad. I didn't understand what my dad was getting at. My dad was always 10 years older than everyone too, and I'm going to be even older than him as a father. And he was always like, trying to keep up with everyone.
No, that's why I said 17, 18. When I go to the playground, with my 5-year-old, I see kids who are 19 years old with kids, and so I'm 29, 39, 49. I'm 32 years old with them.
Isn't that crazy? I know, it's nuts. You could be their father,
and that's why those ones were, 19 or 20. They said, "Oh, is that your grandson?" And I say, "No, it's my son." And they look at me like bewildered.
Yeah. You know what the great thing is, though? Thank God, like, I get recognized a lot, so people, like, know. They're like, oh, Dave Palumbo, holy shit. Like, recently, a lot of people have been coming up to me, like, just in, like, 7-Eleven and stuff. They're like, holy, you live here? And they know, and they follow, like, the story. They listen to the radio show. They know more about, like, my life than anyone else. And they start saying, oh, how's Logan doing? And how are you doing? Like, holy,
is the pool done?
Yeah, the
is
pool
the
has
boat
a pool,
constricted?
right,
to have have
right,
babies
right,
yet?
right.
Well, that's what I get when people ask me all kinds of stuff about what's going on with Dave.
Yeah, you go to the cleaners and you get people asking you about the
no,
radio
I
shows.
said even here, at the bodybuilding
Oh,
show.
it's Tampa. Well, you're at a bodybuilding show.
Not me, about you. That people want to know where's Dave and what's he doing. They want to know all the details.
But they know that you and I, talk to each other all the time. So I'm just thinking that, maybe when I go to the sports fields, maybe if I'm still relevant by then, people will say, "Oh, I know you," and they'll forget that I'm a grand. They'll forget that they'll know that I'm not a grandfather. Put it that way, because they'll know my story.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? Unbelievable, the crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm nervous because my son will be really competitively sports wise probably when he's like 12 or 13, and I'll be like 60 by then. So I hope I'm a young 60. My father said before he died, he said to me when he was still a little coherent, he said, "Don't look at me. Don't be worried." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Don't be worried. This is not your fate." Like, he's trying to tell me, like, I'm not going to wind up like him, even though I probably will.
You will.
Yeah.
You will. Of course you will. It's genetics.
He goes, "You're going to look young for a long time." I said, "Thanks, Dad." I said, "How old do you think I am?" He goes, "I don't know. What are you, 60 now?" I said, "Dad, I'm 50." He said, "Oh, Dad,
maybe I was
worry
wrong.
about it."
Yeah, start worrying about it. I was mistaken. You can worry then.
No, he didn't even think I was 50. But the point is, he goes, "You look very good." He goes, "You look very young." He goes, "You look younger now than you did, years ago." I said, "Well, that's a good sign." I said, "I lost weight. That's why." Actually, speaking of losing weight, Nick Trigilli was texting me earlier today. We're friends again.
Really?
Yeah, we're friends again.
Of course.
And I reached out to him a couple of weeks back, and I said, "This is ridiculous, Nick." I said, "We were friends before this. I don't want to have any bad blood. Let's just make up." So we made up. So anyway, he reached out to me. He's like, let me ask you a question. He goes, "When you were 300 pounds and then you started downsizing, how long did it take you to get down to the weight you're at?" I said, "Like 10 years. He's like, oh, I can't lose any weight. He said, all I keep doing is getting fatter. He goes, "I haven't trained at all in like 8 months. I said, "Well, Nick, you got to work out." I said, you're going to be a fat slob. I said, "You just can't lift heavy." I said, cut your protein back a little bit. Do some cardio. People think if you just stop training, you're going to just, it's just going to disappear the muscle. But what happens?
So it sounds like you're prepping him in some way.
I'm prepping him for the.
You're doing a diet for him.
Yeah, I'm prepping him for the old fogies Olympics.
Yeah, but he's no old fogey. He's a young
young
guy.
Yeah, but he wants to live. He obviously wants to live a long time now, which is good. I'm glad he's got that healthy mentality, and he's like, but he doesn't know how to do it. And I was explaining to him, you have to still work out because muscle is a metabolically active tissue. When you don't train, your metabolism shuts down, and then you can't lose weight, and then you're just a fat slob, which is what he's complaining that he said he's like, "I got too much body fat. I don't know what to do." I said, "Well, you're not doing anything." He's like, "Well, I'm doing cardio." I said, "You got to weight train. You got to weight train. You just don't lift heavy. If you lift and you lift lighter than you normally do, your muscles will just atrophy, but yet you'll still be in shape, and the muscles will still be burning calories, and that's what you want." Mm-hmm. So, but it did take me a long time. I progressively got smaller over the years.
Yeah.
You just stopped eating. That was how you did it. But you don't really like food anyway. He's an Italian. He likes food. He's not gonna. I told him you can't pull that like I'm not eating stuff. He's like, "I'm starved all the time." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Chris doesn't eat. Chris doesn't. Chris can go 3 days without eating, and then say, 'Holy shit, I got to eat something,' and he'll go to the sushi bar."
I got actually here. I got an open bag of. This is what Guy Cistanino got me a little collection of little snacks because he knows I don't eat.
He gives you a snack bag, like
Yeah,
it's like
it's
your
a
parent.
deluxe mixed nuts,
Oh, that
and
was
then the
nice.
other bag is combos. They're pizzeria baked pretzels,
Oh, I remember.
and then
combos,
a
yeah.
bag of Oreo cookies, and then a bag of granola. And I've only made it through the peanuts. I haven't opened up anything else. Oh, I opened up the cookies, but I didn't eat any.
Yeah. That's nice of Guy to think of you like that.
Yeah, he always thinks of me.
He's a very thoughtful guy, and he's very very methodical the way he plans everything. I like that about him. Not many. I have clients like that too that will buy me like gift cards and stuff like that, and they're very thoughtful, And then there's other people that don't give a shit. But you know what? I don't expect anything. That's the whole thing. Just some people more thoughtful. I'm the worst. I don't think of anyone. I'm terrible, and it's not that I'm not a thoughtful person. I'm so busy that it's crazy.
Luke's texting me now that he thought his legs were small. Did you think his legs were small in the show?
No,
Okay.
no way. No way. Oh shit. Chris and I were trying to figure out how to live stream this thing. I'm trying to do some new stuff on the website, and I just noticed I put up an old. Someone thinks they hacked. Someone sent me an email. Did you get your YouTube hacked? I put up an old Rich Piana video by accident. Sorry, guys. You know what? Chris and I were this is true. Chris and I were going to live stream using Google Hangouts the radio show because I know everyone wants to see video. They want to see us. That's what I'm always being told. And we want to see you. I said, all right.
Yeah, they could have seen me in the hotel room. I'm wearing a RxMuscle T-shirt. And you said, where'd you get that? I said, you gave it to me like 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
10
I
years
still
ago.
got it.
Yeah. And Chris finally is using it. Chris doesn't. At least that shows that you don't throw anything out.
Yeah.
Now, I go to Google to Google why I can't do this live stream. I'm like, how come I can't connect Google Hangouts to the to the live streaming on YouTube? And what am I doing here? And I find out that they changed the rules like yesterday. How crazy is that? Oh my god. Unbelievable. It's the story of my life. I think I just deleted a video that I shouldn't have deleted. See, this is what happens when you do things when you're in the middle of a radio show.
Yeah, you're trying to work and do the radio at once.
Yeah, I wonder if I can
Change diapers, breed snakes, and that's what happens.
Today was a terrible day. Like I was seriously. I don't never get headaches. I had a really bad headache just from all the craziness that I was doing today. It was an aggravating day. Things were not going well for me. Like computer programs weren't working right, and I had just a migraine head, and I didn't get a nap or anything like that, and I didn't sleep that well last night because we were supposed to have a furniture delivery, and then they send these guys from Wayfair to deliver this. We ordered a crib and like a bedroom set for the new baby. They come with these ginormous boxes, and they bring two guys. The one guy looked like a pretty stocky guy. The other guy was the expert, the moving expert, but he looks like he couldn't lift. He couldn't lift my dining room chair. Okay, so they're like, we have two staircases in that. Like, can we use the other staircase? My wife's like, no, we have it locked. Why do you need the other staircase? You can get this. Well, we don't. We can't. We don't want to lift this. This thing is heavy. Well, you are movers. She's like, you're not dragging this thing up my staircase, and you're gonna ruin my stairs. Oh well, then we're gonna need to have another person here. Well, we'll go get another person. What do you want me to tell you? So now I have to have it redelivered on Tuesday. How stupid is this? Why would you send two guys that can't lift the fucking box to deliver the fucking box?
Did they put it together, or are you going to put it together?
No, but they did. Believe me, I was willing to pay for them to put it together. But for some reason, on this one, it's supposedly, quote, so easy to put together that they don't offer that service.
Yeah.
So my wife, Amanda's going to put it together. She said, "I'm looking to hire someone. I'm like, I'll pull someone off the street. I'll get my neighbor. I'll pay him. Even the guy I don't like, just so we don't have to do it. It's
Maybe
just,
a
it's
radio
time
listener would do
consuming.
it.
I hate it. She likes to do that stuff, though. She'll put it together.
I can't. I don't even have time to open up a box, let alone
Yeah, I don't.
directions for furniture to put together.
Exactly.
Then you get like 10,000 little bolts. You get the nuts, and then
I'm like you now. I can no longer see anything close. I absolutely need reading glasses. It's not even fun anymore, and that's probably why I have a headache from squinting at my phone.
Yeah, maybe.
So now I gotta get like one of those old lady chains. That they have the glasses around their neck with the chain around it, like your school teacher had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We made fun of the school teachers. Now I understand why they had it, because they fucking couldn't see anything close to them.
Yeah.
And I have contact lenses in. That's the weird thing. If I take my contacts out, I can see close. I just can't see anything far away.
Can you get that operation? Does that do anything?
I was going to get the operation, but I have one bad eye. I had gotten hit with a rock in my eye when I was in first grade. Someone threw a rock in a monkey bar, and it ricocheted off the monkey bar and hit me in the eye. And so I have damage to my left eye. So because of that, I see perfectly with both eyes, but if I were to cover my right eye and look just through my left eye, I have blurry vision. But my right eye dominates. And the good thing is about my left eye is that I can see peripherally fine. Just straight ahead, it looks fuzzy, if I look just through my left eye. So they're afraid to do my eyes, they said, because what if we damage, because she's like, they said it never happens, but there's always, that 1% chance that you can damage your good eye during the surgery. Now you can't see. So our, the Hippocratic Oath, right? The doctor's Hippocratic Oath is do no harm, So he's like, you see fine with contacts. There's no sense in doing the laser surgery. I'll have to wait till I have cataracts. Once they take your cataracts, they give you a new lens, and you see perfectly. My father, at 80 years old, finally got his vision restored.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did, because he had cataracts. My dad had one removed, and then he was afraid to go back and get the other one removed. So for 2 years between the first surgery and the second one, he used to see like there was barbed wire fence in his line of vision. He's like, I see barbed wire. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like a grid. It's like a grid. Yeah. I see. I said, well, maybe it's because you need the other eye done. He's like, don't be an idiot. He goes, they did it to me when they did the first eye. I said, maybe your brain can't, because one eye is like fogged over. That's what cataracts is, and the other eye is seeing clear. I have to imagine that it screws up your vision field. I said, how much worse could it get? He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, fine. Finally, one of the eye doctors convinced him to do the other eye, and he was completely fine after he did that. I said, what about the grid? You still seeing the grid? I don't know what you're talking about. He didn't, because he was getting demented at that point, so he didn't remember telling me that story. I said, you told me you were seeing through like a grid. Mm-hmm. Like it looked like there was almost like a microscope you were looking through. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, can you see better? He goes, I don't even need glasses anymore. I said, well, you should have gotten this done 10 years ago. I said. He said, don't hassle me. That was always, whenever I made logical sense, that was his comeback. Yeah. His retort. His retort was, don't hassle me. You trying to rub it in on me? That he can't even know.
Cheap shot,
right? So yeah, when I finally have to get my cataract surgery, somewhere down the road, when I'm hopefully 90 years old.
They gave Steve Weinberg an award at the show.
I saw Dan Solomon. I had talked to him during the week, and he told me they were going to give him a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yep.
I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that MD was sold. Did you hear that rumor?
Yeah, because I saw Ron Harris in the elevator, and I said, Ron, I heard you got sold, and he said, I hope Dave didn't buy it.
Believe me, I wouldn't waste my money. Not on MD, that's for sure. There's nothing to buy. I heard, well, I'm not going to say who I heard bought it, but someone told me, a little birdie told me that they sold MD.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. For what price?
I don't know. I didn't get a number on that. My source wasn't that connected to this.
Was it more than 1,000 or?
I don't know. They bought it. If Bleckman sold, he had to have made some money on it. I can't imagine him selling it and not making money. It wouldn't be worth it for him otherwise, unless he just wanted to get out of Dodge, so to speak. But I haven't heard any announcements, so maybe it didn't go through. Who knows? Someone inside. So whoever this person who told me was, and if I told you who the person was, you'd be like, who? It's no one that like you even know. It's just someone that I talk to on a regular basis. I know him pretty well, and I didn't even know he even had any connections over at MD. He told me, and he gave me a lot of details. I can't imagine he would have made it up. I said, really? And the person he told me who bought it made sense. I guess that they could afford it, but I was surprised, and we'll see. We'll see if it comes out. So I'm breaking it here. I'm spreading some rumors. But someone told me. I'm not making it up. I would never have made that up. I wouldn't thought in a million years anyone would have bought it. But I guess if you want to use a media website and it's for sale, it's definitely, there's a machine there. I mean, that you can use as marketing. Although there's not much traction over there, but it does exist. Sometimes if people want to start like a magazine or they want to start an online presence, it's hard to start from scratch. If you have money, it's better to buy something that's a pre-existing business. I mean, it's just this common sense. I mean, that's why a lot of these drug companies will come in, and if they want to get into the supplement industry, like Abbott bought EAS, and there was a couple other companies that went like that too. I think Post bought, like Post Cereal. Didn't they buy Dymatize or something like that?
I don't know.
Glambia bought.
Oh yeah, they did. They did buy. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, because what happens is these companies want a big company, but they don't want to have to start one from scratch. It's too difficult. So they'll buy an existing one and they'll spend a ridiculous amount of money on it, and usually it goes out of business.
Doesn't it? And then it goes south after that.
Yeah.
I mean, how many supplement companies have been bought only to just like disappear?
Or they just don't become as relevant anymore. They go more mainstream or whatever the direction of the company that buys them is. Look, it is what it is. I'm trying to, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm trying to avoid talking about anything negative on the show today. I don't want to talk about Jeremy Buendia. I don't want to talk about Larry Wheels. I don't want to talk about Sean Roden. I'm so sick of those videos that everyone, it's like I got to report on this news and I got to report my opinion on it, but I'm just so over talking about it already. I hope we can just settle this thing sooner than later.
Which thing?
All the craziness that's going on with the women and men and that social media. I think it's just social media.
Something will happen this week.
Yeah, I heard that it doesn't.
something new. Something somewhere.
New. Yeah, someone else will do something stupid this week. Hopefully, no one gets killed or anything like that. It was a bad week for bodybuilding. Let's face it, or bad 2 weeks, I should say. Rough 2 weeks. And all these YouTube self-proclaimed stars love to report on this stuff. They love to report on misery. I really don't even like it. I do it because people want to know my opinion on it. If the one time I didn't report initially on like what happened with Aaron and PJ, because I'm kind of friends with them, and I just like, well, you know what, I'm not gonna even talk about it. Everyone was all over me. How come you're not reporting on it? Well, I didn't want to report on it. There was nothing to report. There was a report out there. You can read it yourself. I didn't report on it. So now I have to report. Otherwise, people say I'm not a reporter. I'm not a journalist. So I got to give my opinion on all this craziness. I hate giving my opinion because you know what? It doesn't even matter. I keep saying that these matters of when people get arrested, they're not decided by people like you and me. They're decided by jurors, people who are at jury duty. People who work for Home Depot, who work as teachers, people who work in gas stations and get served for jury duty. And they go and sit on a trial. They don't know who these people are from a hole in the wall. They don't really want to be there, but whatever, they're there. They're going to get the free lunch and the $50, whatever they give you for jury duty. And they sit and listen to the trial. And they based on their own prejudices and their own preconceived notions of what they think is right and wrong, they make a decision, and they decide, and their thought processes and their ability to make decisions is probably so far out of our wheelhouse of the way you or I think or anyone else in our industry that it's stupid for us to speculate, as to what's going to happen, in a sense. But we do anyway, because people love to hear about drama. It makes the world go round. I mean, isn't that why reality shows are so popular?
No, reality shows are popular because people like to just see how other people are supposedly living.
Yeah, because they like the drama of other people's lives.
Yeah, I guess you could say
If you
so.
and I if you and I lived in a house together and had a reality show, do you know how popular it would be? Not because you and I are so interesting, but to the bodybuilding fans and people, we are interested. They want to know how we've gotten to where we are, what we do on a regular basis. You know, I put up little snippets on my Instagram story about my kids. You know, my son was dressing up in a Batman costume, and my daughter was climbing inside an entertainment center. People find it interesting. I don't know. I get people sending me things and saying, I think that's so cool, and I can't believe how big they got, and how funny is this, and this is adorable. People they want to follow your life, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's when it gets negative that, you know, it's almost like.
Well, the negative is what's exciting.
I know, but it's I hate reveling in it. I hate having to just spend so much time in that negative area. It's one thing to report on it, but then you have to kind of like start giving your opinions and trying to figure out what's going to happen. Now, from what I understand, I think Sean's due in court the 26th of the month.
I have no idea, actually.
I believe so. That's from what I hear. Yeah. So maybe we'll have a few weeks of quietness where we can just focus on putting together our Olympia, Iron Road to the Olympia coverage, which is going to be sponsored this year, Chris, by Chemical Warfare. That's a company you probably know of in the UK. Zach Kahn is sponsored by them. Actually, I have an interview I did with Zach Kahn. Actually, it's a really good one coming out this week. And Chemical Warfare will be our official sponsor of the Road to the Olympia. Mm-hmm. Now, all the content prior to the Olympia will be sponsored by them, as well as the content that will occur at the Olympia, which you will be there with Sid and Ralph, our photographer. You'll be doing all the coverage. And plus, I'm sure you're going to have Milos and all the other, you know, all the usual suspects will be helping you with the.
We'll get Samir there and Tom Platz, right. And Jose wants to come out and cover it.
Oh, good. He should. He can room with you. He could buy you maybe Guy Cistanino if he makes. I guess he's not going to make it to the Olympia this year. He might be there. Working a booth?
I don't know.
Just make sure Guy packs you a nice little lunchbox every day, so that you're well fed. You know.
I didn't even finish all this. I'm packing it tonight, and I'm going to bring it home and give it to my kids. They'll eat it in 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, I know it's about 2 a.m. now, and I know you got to catch a plane home, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you, Chris, once again for all the coverage at the Tampa Pro and all your analysis of what was going on, and congratulations on your athletes, Luke, who finished in that second position there, and you know he's got to be considered, I think, one of the top 6 guys in the world now going into the Olympia.
Yeah, with no legs.
Who said he has no legs?
No, he just said his legs are too small.
Oh, he said his legs. Yeah, that's
he's texted me one.
Got fucking crazy legs. I think he's going to beat Nathan the Escher. I really do.
Oh, I absolutely do.
I wish he would have done that British Grand Prix, and we could have seen the two of them battle it out over there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see it at the Olympia.
That if he passes Nathan, that's going to be huge for him because Nathan has always been touted as the next big thing out of the UK. But Nathan lost to Hadi Chupin. Speaking of Hadi Chupin, did you read the New York Post article I sent you?
No, but if you listen to the radio show, like the last 4 weeks in a row, I said he's not doing it. So nobody get their hopes up, please.
No, well, what happened was there was a reporter from the New York Post who contacted me the other day, and I don't even know these guys. I guess these journals find your number, and he said he wanted to get some quotes from me and wanted to find what I thought about the Hadi Chupin thing because he had listened to one of my rants I did on how it's a shame that he's not going to be at the Olympia and it's a crime and athletes should be immune from the governmental policies, and I gave the whole spiel. So he did a little article on it. I think he interviewed Bob Ciccarello too, and I know he reached out to Dan and AMI. No one really was. He was very upset that no one was really forthcoming with information. I said, you know what? The reason is because and this might not be the case with you, and he did a very nice article, but I said these reporters like to take information that they get and twist it and somehow turn it into a steroid witch hunt. I said, and you know what? I don't blame the people who run the organization for not talking to you, because it happens all the time. I said, once again, no reflection on you personally. I said, but it happens all the time. And that's why no one wants to.
I mean, what the simple point is there's a travel ban on the Iranians.
Right, that's what I said. And if you read the quote, that's exactly what my quote was. Palumbo says, it's simple. It's Iran. You know, he can't come here because he's from Iran. That's the bottom line. It has nothing else to do with anything else.
No.
I said, and unless someone steps up to the plate. I said, but it's a shame because athletes historically have always been immune from or not always, but predominantly have been immune from Look, we went to Nazi Germany, right? Competed with the Nazis in the Olympics in 1945 or whatever it was. 40. It
was 39.
39.
Was it 39?
I guess it was right before the war, but it was still, they were doing fucked up shit then, and we went there.
Yeah.
The Russians, we had the Cold War. They used to the Russian athletes used to defect to the U.S., and the Russians still brought the athletes here because sports supersedes, political agendas most of the time, and it's a shame that Hadi, who's one of the best bodybuilders in the world, and you got to remember in Iran, and I explained this to the reporter, in Iran, bodybuilding is like football here. It's like the most popular sport that they have. So that's like sending Michael Jordan over here, Mm-hmm. It's just a shame that he won't be able to compete. But yet he was able to compete in Vancouver, Canada, which is like 100, not even 50 miles from the border,
Yeah. Well, Kukul goes to the White House, see if he can pull any strings.
Yeah, maybe you can talk to Trump. There you go. I didn't even think about that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week. Until next week, remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.